Alright, so where we at? Aside from garage is a fucking mess. That's where we're at. Let's get this bumper on. I guess this is like the final part of this little bit. Part 2, I think we're at part 2. I'm pretty sure I just uploaded the video for part 1 of fitting these rear wheels. Now, that being said, let's get this back bumper on. So I've gone and done this side. That's held up pretty well so far. That glue is intense, man. Now we got this side here. You add to the mess. Boom, done. It's a little bit messier on this side, I think, but all good. So it looks like that's done. That's done. We got our aluminium brackets all riveted in, so they're sitting pretty. Got some large heavy-duty rivets in there, 3 of. That's all sturdy as heck. Probably gonna put this plastic trim on here and screw that in to start with. Might have to get the driller actually, re-drill these holes here just so it mates up with the nutsert over here. Nutsert on in here. So we'll drill these out both sides, make it easier to align. Get our plastic trim on, get that bolted on, and we'll fit the back bumper back on, and that's pretty much that section done. And then move on to our small plastic bits at the front as well. So, car's back nice and level, let it sit for a bit. We got the bumper and everything back on, that's bolted in and whatnot. Still got the one screw to go in there into that nutset that will pull this whole lot up a bit. And I'm not sure if I'm really, the front looks good, I'm not sure if I'm really digging the rear. Even though I've done all this work in rolling these, rolling both sides. This one's tabs just sticking out a bit, so I need to trim that to get it in. Yeah, not really sure I'm feeling the... Wondering if I actually just go about chucking the fender flares on the back as well. So, hard choice, boys. I think I'm just going to call it. We're just going to run the fender flares. I mean, there's a lot of work that I've done. Obviously the last video is like building the brackets and all of that, trying to get it to all fit. And I think, yeah, it would fit. It'd look alright. It does need a little bit more trimming on with the plastics, but other than that, it does look like it'll fit. And especially after paint, with it all being smooth and all the little imperfections kind of filled in, it'd be pretty sweet. But I just kind of like the aggressive look of the flares, like. And given that they're not just the cheap eBay fender flares as well, the Jumdoo fender flares actually look pretty good, so I'm gonna call it there. We're gonna run the fender flares. I'm going to work out how to install them because I've never done that before. Yeah, fuck it. Let's get these on. So you can see that's one on, well, kind of on. Still got to put this in. Still got to get the heat gun and kind of taper these edges in. That will sit in a little bit further once the plastic's on the inside of this is trimmed. You can see this kind of sticks out just a smidge. Other than that, yeah, no, looking pretty bloody good. Toying with the idea of tucking this under there as well, or maybe just leaving it, I'm not sure, maybe cutting it. Not sure yet, but we'll just leave it for now. So I'm going to use some Clecos just to hold it in place and work my way across. So no real special technique to this. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about, this bit sticking out. That's because the tab on the other side is kind of protruding a bit. You can see the gap that it's created. With that in, it should sit a bit flush, or a little bit more flush I should say. Yeah, sick. Looks good so far. No complaints. These Jumdoo fender flares are actually really quite easy to install. I just drilled the holes in the plastic, drilled the hole in the, or like used those holes lined up, marked my first hole on the car, drilled that, and put a cleco in, held it in place, lined up how I wanted it to run, and just done my second one with the second one in place, 2 clecos. You kind of just work your way to the other side. You could probably start in the middle, work backwards both ways, but I found working from on this particular car right here, working my way around was pretty good. I'm not even sure I'm really going to need that plastic behind there. Might chuck it in just cause, and yeah, we'll work on the other side now, but looking good. Easy as boys. Tough. So, looking at it, given that I've already gone and destroyed the fender and pulled it all the freaking way out, there's no real need to get crazy and cut it. But the bumper, however, is like, it's kind of a little bit of a waste, but I guess that is cars. You know, you do things and you're like, what the fuck? Why the fuck? Who the what the fuck? And I changed my mind. So maybe that's just me. So this side's cut like this, just to clearance the tire under full compression. Now we know the bumper isn't going to clear under full compression. Well, it will once this bracket's kind of tapered out and brings all of this out and this plastic's trimmed on the inside, but fuck it. Let's do the same as this side and we'll find out where that little bracket is. We're just going to nip straight down. Done. Got a huge section cut out both sides, so when the wheel comes up, that's going to clear a piece of piss. I mean, even if it does hit, it's only going to rub on this plastic bit here, and that's fine by me. I get the flat wheel, clean this up a bit. Still got that top screw to put in as well. And from that to this, we have painted both sides. Just a bit of red scotch, scuffed it up, got it real good, and some Rotocam black, just so when you do look in on this angle, you don't see the silver there anymore. Obviously, I've got a little bit of bare metal every now and then as well, so I've used some etch primer and primed and painted the bare metal, so it's all protected. We've come in from this angle as well and just smashed it, painted it black. God knows what it looks like in there, I don't want to know. We got a carpet and stuff back in too. Obviously we've trimmed it, trimmed like a good 2 inches out of it because it followed the body line and would sit inside this lip. And obviously if it's sitting inside this lip, and we've pulled the lip out 45 odd mil, it was actually hanging down here, and you put the wheel on, the wheel's just going to hit it, it's going to grab it, it's going to fuck it off. So yeah, we trimmed that, and I've kept a little bit more on the driver's side, the right hand side, because there are the fuel components. The fuel neck runs down behind next to the shock, so we've got a little bit more, or I've left a little bit more. You can kind of see it here. I'm going to chuck one more clip in. But yeah, this side a little bit more, other side a little bit less because it's not needed. You can see that's pretty much the amount. That is quite literally the amount that I cut out. And that's it. Like when you come in on an angle like this, you're not going to see the original body color, at least while it's still silver. And yeah. What is up, boys? Back to the Apache ass part 2 of this video. I don't even apologize. It's holidays. I can't be fucked. Just filming literally everything. But look, she's in. She's around the other way too, under her own power. Didn't have to push this behemoth of a thing around for once, which is bloody good. So next up, I am going to chuck the front fender flares on. Ooh, lock doors, boys. All the basics. Yeah. And she runs, she drives, she does all that stuff. Reverse her out so we got some more room on the old sounds good. Anyway, let's here's a these. Bear with me. And it is good to have this space back. Got a little bit messy, but is what it is. So yep, car drives, move it around and stuff, everything's all good. Few things to finish off now, so obviously the fender flares, there's some rubbing action going on, and that's on a fairly flat driveway, so we're going to sort that out. Fender flares, you can see everything else is back in, obviously with the car running. We got an intercooler, transcooler, intercooler piping. Had to modify the radiator top hose, obviously, because this is the thermostat. Now what we had is the hose came down, across, kind of kinked, ran right through, like straight into this, so that wasn't good. So I've trimmed down the OEM hose and welded up. I used a 180, just chopped it down, you can see there, maybe. Just welded it up, a little bit of straight, and slapped that in there, so that's all sorted. The transcooler's all in, the 180 degree lines work perfectly. Need to chuck a zip tie on each of these hoses to just stop them moving around so much. Same with a lot of the loom and little things, because I'm not running all the brackets that were originally on the motor. Some of the loom stuff kind of connects to it, and now it doesn't, so, you know, add some zip ties. Now, what we also have is the ECU mounted to the OEM airbox, which was like this bloody whole thing there. So I've kind of made up a little bracket. You can see just aluminium there. Made up a little bracket. I need to clean it up. Need to trim down the standoffs as well. We've got one down the back there and one at the front. Standoffs just to angle it a little bit. We are also going to add a, maybe just, I don't know about a tab, probably just a hole. Drill another hole so I can mount this little guy here. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. Need to mount this guy. I'm not sure what this is actually. I'm not sure if it's a map sensor or ambient air pressure, or not too sure, because there's actually another one down the back. So there's two. Maybe it takes like an average reference. Who knows? Anyway, I need to mount that. I need to mount this guy here. This is the brake booster vacuum line, so it comes out of here, goes up to this. The reason that I've kept this is because that's actually a check valve. It runs up, and this line actually ran across and went straight down here through where this is now, which is obviously not ideal. It doesn't freaking work. So I've cut down the factory line, and I'm going to use the mounting point of this, which is on the manifold where that hole is. There's a factory nutset in there, so that'll mount at the bottom of this, and I'll also mount this, and that's that all sorted. Need to bolt down the loom. That's pretty much it, guys. That'll tie off 99% of everything. Obviously the fender flares, I've got to go and run it back up to temperature. It's only got water in it now, and I'm also only running that Gulf Western oil in it. We're going to run this through to clean it out, all the sludge and all the crap that's in there. And I can smell some of the cleaning detergents that I've used to clean out the engine before coming out of, you might see a little bit, oh yeah, you can see a little bit of smoke, a little bit of smoke coming in there, little chuffs. I think that's just from all the diesel that I used to kind of clean all the crap out, and now it's just going through and burning all the crap out of there. So we're going to flush it, drop the oil, drop all of the coolant as well. It's only water in there at the moment. Get the hose in and give that a back flush and a flush and all that. We're going to change the oil filter. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today, at least. Something in my shoe is cutting into my toe. Don't fabricate your own parts, boys. You get fucking splinters all the time. So yeah, anyway, we'll get into that. Fender flares are kind of probably just going to look a little something like And there we have it. For now. Next up, we'll get the fucking, we'll get the hardware, we'll fit it up, and that'll be the end of the video. But as it is right now, man, I am actually pretty stoked with that. It's kind of worried about how much poke, but there is very minimal going on, if any. I mean, it's a couple of mil, but comparatively compared to what it was, like that's good. And I've still got some more camber too. I've got more adjustment on the bolts to kind of taper that in a bit, so we might be able to get rid of that, add a little bit more camber. I prefer not to, but you know, if it becomes a legal issue, then yeah, we'll just tuck it in. And it might actually need a bit of extra camber on the left side anyway, the passenger side, just because I done the wheel alignment on this myself, so it's just eyeballed. You can see this one kind of sticks out a little more than this side here, and obviously there'll be variation in the flares and stuff too, but bam, she's looking good. I'm gonna go try it in the driveway, and that's what I'm gonna do next. And the next I'll see you, I will have the hardware, we'll screw it all in, and we will go for a drive.